shed. So I was only there till like.
We're good.
All right, kids. Let's play. How was your first experience with an open source textbook? Some goofs with the things I shouldn't have assigned you. But okay.
I didn't know we were supposed to do this. We weren't supposed to.
Right. But you were able to get it good, Nat, good. Other first thoughts?
I thought it was easier to navigate just because you could type in the number of the page and skip back and forth.
Good.
It's not like you're
Flipping through pages or scrolling. Yeah, it is nice. It depends on what reader you have, and that is definitely an advantage, Scott. Absolutely. Shirley?
Okay, so I'm really not very I couldn't find my way to the book.
Here's the deal. Real quick, and you can order a copy of this. You can actually purchase a copy of this. I'm not going to edit. If you're on this page, this is your 243 page, go to materials,
Oh, okay.
and it's right here. If you want to buy one and actually have a hard copy, it's $20, I think. Yeah, $17.96. So you can get a copy of it. It's pretty cheap. Or you can also just print the copy I have. Like when you open this, you could just save this to your desktop and then print it as a Word document, like 3-hole punch it and put it. I mean, it's 700 pages. It's big. Maybe double sided.
probably cost you more than $20.
Probably cost you more than $20. Right, exactly. Thought you were $20. So anyway, that's where she lives.
Thank you.
You got it. You got it. All right. Good. And I please give me your input on open source because I want to keep that ball rolling. I want to make sure that we keep things affordable for you guys. Depending on if you have to buy everything else, we at least get that free for you. All right. Let's play. Walmart TV commercial I saw in '07. As I did some research, I discovered they were using similar arguments in other years. I think it was '06, maybe '05, maybe '08. I don't exactly remember what years these are from. What do you think? It's a claim. It's a claim. Well, just read that and see that. Try to let personal bias creep in.
I know.
But what do you think about this? Based on what you're reading, there's a claim here. And the claim is that Walmart saves you money.
How do you prove it? I don't see that.
We'll get to that. Thank you, Patrick. How do you prove it? My argument is they haven't, and I'll show you why momentarily. But what do you think of the claim? Please, tell me your name.
Brandy,
Brandy, thank you.
I think they need to prove it to the families that don't drive.
Well, and this is interesting. Brandy brings up a good point. Look at the last 6 words of the sentence. No matter where they shop. Which means you don't even have to shop at Walmart to save money. How is that possible? That's the claim, and that's actually, it's interesting. We're going to get to that. The claim, or not stated here, but implied in the research that this is based off of, is the very presence of Walmart in a vicinity will drive prices down enough to save folks money. Which folks? Well, according to this claim, average American families. I don't know what that is. I don't think they know what it is. So I decided to look for myself. And this often happens when you're looking at claims like this. This was the TV commercial. I found a screenshot of it. If you look really closely, it says, Global Insight, the price impact of Walmart and update through 2006. So what I did was, I went ahead and found that report, and read through it. And I found some stuff. So I take a few moments and read. This is just a couple paragraphs that I thought were very, very interesting. You guys mentioned at third, it's lower prices that pressured its competitors. You mentioned that earlier. What you may not realize, and this is brilliant mathematically, is the first 2 that they mention up there. It's sophisticated logistics and distributions innovations. amazing. It's kind of like if you're going to move your friend. You have a pickup truck, your friend asks you to help them move. And you go, cool, if I got a pickup truck, we can do it in one trip versus 2 or 3. And you figure that's not that big of a deal if you live in Bend. But imagine moving products all over the country, let alone world, as efficiently as possible. Imagine if you could take every 2 trips and combine it down to 1 trip. All over the world, hundreds of thousands of times a year. All of a sudden you're talking about real money. Then it's real money. Then it's not just like a quarter or an eighth of a tank of gas. Now we're talking about hundreds of thousands of gallons of fuel, which generate millions of dollars of savings. So that's number 1. Pretty crazy, actually. Even the way they pack their trucks, their semis, when they're packed, they're all done mathematically. Like, they'll put a bunch of TV boxes, and we're seeing nods, yes. You're putting these boxes in the back of the trucks, and they're like, okay, let's get some fish bowls in there. No, fish bowls are round. More things that are square. No dead space. Staggeringly efficient and mathematically brilliant. The sheer size bit is interesting, too. I mean, even if you shops at Costco, you know this. I mean, the reason why things are generally more affordable at Costco, generally, is because you get volume discounts. Buying 2 boxes of 16-ounce cereal is more than buying 1 box of 32. We just mentioned it by printing this. Buying 1 pre-printed book of collaborative statistics is going to be cheaper than printing 702 pages off and making your own book, because you're getting a volume discount because the author's printed Lord knows how many copies of them. So those 3 things I think are fairly well known in the populace. This is not, though. This is not. They've decided to measure CPI. I'm in Grandview. I'm in the business building, and I want to plead ignorance on understanding exactly how that is tied directly to prices, but I know there's a correlation between CPI and prices. The CPI includes 3 broad categories: durable goods like clothing, stuff you put in your house like sheets or curtains. Say it again.
Isn't it stuff that doesn't expire?
Exactly, stuff that's not supposed to expire, or I guess doesn't expire over a long term, like a bicycle, I'm assuming, something like that. And then non-durable goods, food, paper towels, things like that, something that does have an expiration date, if you will. And then services. Notice the goods make up 40% of the CPI, according to this argument. Services, which according to the authors of this article, Walmart has absolutely no control over, make up 60%. With me so far? So 60% is made up of stuff Walmart has no control over on the CPI. With me so far? So their point of this report is to look at some, they call them MSAs, and I forget what that stands for. Metropolitan something, like sales area or something like that. It's basically, they look at these cities, and they base their entire argument off of these cities. So right away, I take umbrage with the claim average American family. Because this report implies that the average American family lives where? In a metropolitan area. I mean, look at these cities: San Diego, Boston, New York, Seattle, Honolulu, Philly, LA, San Fran, Miami, Portland, Denver, Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Cleveland, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Dallas, Houston, Anchorage. I'm glad Anchorage snuck in there. But we're talking about major metro areas, right? Major metro areas. Where's Brothers? Now, arguably, Brothers would come to Bend to do it at Walmart. Where's Bend? This was hardly a random sample. These are large metro areas, right? I mean, I think Bend qualifies as a city by population, I think. Yes, good. So was Bend even offered as a potential here? I mean, there's one Walmart here already. There's one in Redmond. They're trying to put a second one on the north end of town. They've been trying it for years. So I take umbrage with the average American family being forced to live in one of 25 metro areas. That's one problem I have with the sampling. The other problem I have is, look at the colors of those bars. Remember that bit about commodities, services versus goods? Remember that bit about how Walmart only can claim success in lowering prices if it's their particular goods, the 40-60 split? This makes it look even worse. Services is the grayed out. White is contribution from what they sell. I don't see a whole lot of white up there, do you? I see an awful lot of gray, which means the contribution to that inflation is happening not via what Walmart is controlling, but by what they're not controlling in the actual economy. Things like electrical bills, fuel bills. So if they're saving people money over this time period, according to this figure anyway, according to this data, it looks like that money would have been saved with or without the presence of Walmart, because things got cheaper over that time period. You might remember from 07 to 08, gas prices fell catastrophically, you know? Please.
Don't they
Is it
Harrison?
Harrison, okay,
Don't they just say that they're saving that money because you can't prove they're not?
Pretty much.
We're proving they're not right now,
So it's
though.
like, but if it's like a marketing scheme like.
Oh, it's brilliant marketing.
Mathematically, you can't say
Harrison, it's brilliant marketing.
why.
We're proving them they're wrong right now. We're proving them by, we are disproving the sole claim that they're the ones saving you money. We're throwing other potential, oh, have you thought about this? But who takes the time to do what I'm doing right now? Nobody. Nobody takes the time to do what I'm doing right now. Okay, here's something else to think about. Remember all those cities that were on that list back there? Each one of those cities is on this scatter plot right here. Each one of those cities is on that these scatter plots right here. Okay? See if you can tell what this scatter plot is getting you to try to believe. What is this scatter plot trying to get you to believe? Crappily, I might add. I started this recording right now. I get crappily recorded. Such a great adjective. Yes! What is this trying to get you to believe? Think Math 95, Math 111. I know it's catastrophically terrifying to think about that, but mathematically, you're looking at an X and a Y axis, correct? Mm-hmm. Now, let's put some definitions out there. See that compound annual growth in CPI that comes across the bottom there? Think of that as this. As that goes that way, to the right, things cost more.
Right.
As it comes back left, things cost less. So think of it that way. That's the easy way to think about CPI. What is the implication of this graph, especially with that nice line they put in there? So nice to put that line in for us, wasn't it? Be a little louder, my friends. I want to hear what you have to say. What do you think? What's happening as Walmart's square footage is increasing? Prices are decreasing. That's what this line shows, right? As X gets small, Y gets big. That's what the definition of a negative slope is, isn't it? Think about, that's why I said think of Math 95, Math 60, 65. Negative slope line, that's a crap line, just so you know. But negative slope line means as Y increases, X decreases. So as we put more Walmarts in, CPI drops. Conversely, as CPI rises, it must mean we have fewer Walmarts. Now, let's go back for a moment. Suppose that graph is accurate and that line is accurate. Totally fine. I'll buy that. Are we proving that more Walmarts are lowering prices? All we're showing is what?
Correlation.
You ever been proud of this moment? You're showing a correlation, not necessarily a...
Cause.
Okay, now I'm being proud. Not necessarily even a cause. Remember that from the first day? Correlation does not imply causation. You can't prove to me that Walmart... And then, as if they forgot what they were trying to be showing in the article, look what they wrote down here, right under the scatter plot. So once they showed you all this stuff, they then go on to say that almost 90% of all this goofiness that we're even seeing is accountable by unemployment rate changes, high wage industry employment share, and electricity price growth. How many of those things does Walmart control?
None.
Arguably none. You might think the unemployment rate changes because they employ so many people, but arguably zero. They control none of that. So where does the ad come from? Hell if I know! I don't know where the ad comes from. Somewhere in this article is a $3,100 figure. But since I don't trust any of this, I don't trust any of that either. But who stops to read this?
Well, you gotta be educated enough, I think.
And that's why we're sitting here, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's why we're sitting in a stat class, to learn to ask the questions. You'll ask more questions than you'll get answers for in this class. But that's good. At least you'll rattle the cage and see what falls down, right? Hopefully it doesn't land on you. But that's the idea. Ask the questions. Dig deeply. Yeah? Okay. Now, I do want to pick on, I just love this whole claim, because it's just rife with things to talk about. Got a laser on this thing? Yeah. I'll use my finger. The average American family. Define that for me. Define that for me. How would you define that?
Gosh, I don't know.
Geraldine, how would you define it?
You can't,
Well, you can't. That's good. Because why?
because there's such a variance. I mean,
Good.
What is one person's definition of average? My average is definitely not the same as your average.
Good. Good. I'm glad. That would make us all very homogeneous and lame. Please, JC.
It's like the problem we just did on the homework, the
Sure is.
perception of income. I mean, that's
Perception of average.
Yeah, average.
It's even worse with this because it's more qualitative than quantitative. Very nice, JC. Kate?
Yeah, I might be wrong, but I see it as average what? As in their average income, their average family members, where, you know,
Huge.
their average grocery trips, their average
Yes! 1990, on average, 2.5 children per family in the United States. 1990 census. You might remember this. Some friends of mine started a punk band called 2.5 Children after in 1991 because of that figure.
What's the point?
2 point, and the question, of course, is what's 0.5 of a kid look like? To which you go, okay, it's 5 kids per 2 families, whatever. But that's how you define number of children, but how that average family. I love the 3 categories or 4 categories you gave right there, Kate. Number of shopping trips, number of parents, number of children, average income. Who knows what it means? $3,100 means different things for different people, right? Beautiful. So here's what I want to do. I want to start today. I want to mute this for a moment. I want to start today by making sure you walk out of here today with an understanding of what that word average means. Regardless of how we actually choose to define it, I want to make sure you understand we know what the word average means. So this next bit that we're going to start today, and we're going to take this into Thursday for sure. Do me a huge favor. Somebody please stop me at 5 till. I have quizzes to get back to you guys, and I totally spaced it, but I don't want to stop now. It seems like a dumb place to stop, although I will.